Welcome to Lighting for Profits, presented by Emery Allen, with your host, Ryan Lee, your number one source for all things landscape lighting. From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing, we discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
All right. Or should I say, all right. Welcome to the number one landscape lighting show in the world. Joined here with a special guest, Mr. Bobby Walker. He's the number one Bobby Walker in the world. And sure. we've got the number one. Hold on, I'm going to show this.
What are we doing?
Hold on, I'm going to show this. The number one couch at the Huge Convention. The number one couch. Go try out the couch,
That's
folks.
That's true.
It's still the number one couch at the Huge Convention.
Oh, snap. What happened?
I think I did it by design. Hopefully, if you guys are here live, let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. I just turned off the music, which was actually good timing because I was trying to do it anyway.
Perfect timing.
So, Truth Seeker, what is up, man?
What's up, Truth Seeker?
Yes. I think we're two of your faves. That's awesome to hear, actually. So let us know if you can hear us. Let us know if you can see us. We are here live at the Huge Convention in Nashville. It's been a fun week. It's probably been way busier than I was expecting. I do a lot of these. A lot of traffic. I tried to get you on yesterday. There was too many people.
Yeah.
People were just like...
Just all the important people you got on first, and then you're like, well, I got time, so we'll get that jackass over there and let him... I understand. Yeah, I understand exactly how it is, Ryan. And let me tell you something. I've got self-confidence, and that's why I'm able to be your friend, because I don't get that validation. You know, it's just... I don't know what's up. You're a mean guy. You make me feel bad, but I bounce back.
I love it. And that's what I try to do. If I can be mean to you, and then we're still friends, it works.
Yeah.
That's how I pre-qualify.
We'll talk about the friend thing later. But yeah, carry on. Business.
So thank you for letting us know. And even if you're not here live, appreciate you guys' support. I know the podcast is growing. I've literally met people here that like come and be like, oh man, I listened to your show. I'm like, really? I'm like shocked. Like, you listen to my shit? You listen to Lighting for Profits? Yeah, dude, we're going to get you a plug.
No, I'm just...
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. Like people here, I'm at the Huge Convention. No one really knows who I am, except for there are a couple of people that do know who I am, and they listen to the show. So I'm really grateful for you guys. Thanks so much for your support. It's been a really good weekend. Heard some good speakers. I haven't had a chance really to walk around and see the vendors. Have you had a chance to do that?
Oh, well, unfortunately, I helped all the vendors in and everything.
That's right.
I got up close and personal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we got a great trade show going on here. It's very impressive. I think it's the biggest one that we've had in the industry before.
Yeah, I think literally there's over 1,500 people here.
Yeah. We had over 1,700 registered. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I know they didn't all arrive, but we had over 1,700 registered and about 1,500 show up, I think. And yeah, it's pretty badass, and the vendors are looking good. And I need to talk into that mic better. I'm turning my head. So let me do that.
I don't know. I could adjust the mic.
No.
maybe.
We're good. We're good.
Right.
I'm almost a pro at this. I've made beer money doing these things. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, with this type of mic, the one that I use in my studio is, I can't remember the different names, dynamic condenser, whatever.
Yeah.
And it only captures like right here, and I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is more like...
This one gets everything.
Yeah.
So I've got it turned down a little bit, so it's not capturing the background as much.
Yep.
But then we have to speak into it more. So,
well, welcome to Mike Talk with Landscape Lighting Secrets.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, so let me do a proper introduction. I want to welcome Mr. Bobby Walker. Bobby, I met actually the very first time was a year ago. I don't know if it was a year ago today, but it was at the Huge Convention. Yep. I walk into this room. I see this stud up on stage, inspiring the world, everything else. I'm like, holy cow. What was his name? I write it down in my phone. I literally did. I was like, I should find the note. I wrote down Bobby Walker. And then
what else did you write? Be honest. What else? What did you like?
I don't remember.
Big bald ogre. Like, what did you had to write something to remember who
Bobby
I was.
Walker.
Like, I always do as well.
Maybe like don't be a bitch or something.
Don't be a bitch.
I don't know. I can look.
Well, need to know.
Well, so I met you. I saw you, and then I got introduced to you, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And I want to talk about you. So how did you get into the home service industry? How did you get involved with the Huge? Like, why are you sitting at this booth right now? What's going on? What's up, Jeremy?
Well, first off, Ryan, thanks for letting me come on here and talk. I love talking too much, as a matter of fact.
I know I'm going to make this. We're going to, you said 30 minutes. I'm like, you're going to talk for more than 30 minutes.
But, the story's pretty simple, and it's one that's it's always fun to relive. But basically, I don't know, it was almost 6 years ago. I was just getting really burnt out with my career. I was in security industry, so not like guards, but like ADT, intrusion alarms and stuff like that. Excuse me. And found out I was losing my job. But right before I did, I decided I wanted to start a business because I was kind of sick of the corporate life. And have you ever seen Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Like right before the divorce happens and it's Christmas time and the stepdad goes to the Cheesecake Factory and has his drinks, Well, before that, he's like, you know what I got for Christmas this year? A crushed soul. And that's kind of how I was my career at the time. It was just not fulfilling. It was beating me down. So I wanted to do this side gig. My son that was in high school wanted to do it with me. And so we were kind of like doing our research, and frankly, it would have never worked because I had a good salary. I was making decent money and I was pretty comfortable. I was just unhappy, right?
Yep.
Well, fortunate for me, and I didn't realize it at the time. Fortunate for me, I found out I was losing my job. And about 3 hours before I did, I had stumbled across a YouTube video as I was just searching for ideas for home service businesses that I wanted to start. I stumbled across a video by this guy named Keith Kalfas. He's got a really cool YouTube channel, and
he's here somewhere.
Yeah, he's here actually, and he walks through a Home Depot and says, "Hey, if you want to start a business with no money," he walks into Home Depot and he's like, "Buy this, this, and this." It's like $60 worth of stuff. He walked out front and said, "That window right there, charge this much money for a window like that." And he's like, "There you go, you got a business." And I thought, I thought a couple of thoughts. I was like, well, that's interesting. That's pretty cool. And the other thought was, window cleaning's beneath me. Right. So my son comes by a few minutes later.
I heard earlier that window cleaning's for homeless people.
Something like that, probably, yeah. So my son walks by. I had him watch the video, and I said, "Listen, I ain't gonna window clean, son. But if I lost my job tomorrow, that's what we do to go, pay the bills for a couple months until we figured it out." Well, sure as shit, about 3 hours later, I found out I'm losing my job. So the next day we drove to Home Depot. We pulled that video up on our phone. We bought 2 of everything. So we spent about $120. I already had a ladder. I stole my wife's SUV, gave her a little car, and we started a window cleaning company. And then a few months later, we added pressure washing to it. And we actually had some great success right out of the bat. And then, I dealt with some mental health issues and, which the things kind of like come before you even realize that they're there, So I started to stagnate a little bit in the business, and then I kind of collapsed completely under some depression and stuff last year, actually right after you and I met.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I'm on the other side of that. So that was a deep, dark hole that almost got me, but it didn't. And I'm now the phoenix rising from the ashes, baby, yes. And I'm ready to do some stuff. But anyway, so now here we are, kind of cleaning up some of the mess I created last year from kind of just being checked out of life. Right. And and then I'm here with you because, we're adding landscape lighting to the business, and we just want to we don't want to do a lot. We just want to take over the world and make the world a little better, one clean and one bright house at a time.
Yeah, love it, man. Well, I want to kind of peel back the onion a little bit and get into that story more. I appreciate you introducing yourself because, that's how I started window cleaning.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I know. I was getting married and I was trying to figure out how to make some money more than I think I was getting like $6 an hour. I was like 6 times 40 hours. I couldn't figure out how to make money. And I thought I invented the window cleaning industry. That was the only difference is I should have went to YouTube and found Keith Kalfas' video. It would have been way easier. But I thought I invented the industry, and then I found a cleaning store and I got the squeegees and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, that was how I got my start, right? And then fast forward through a bunch of pain and misery and stuff like that, I ended up starting a lighting business with my brother. But I totally relate to you and pretty much everyone here who gets your start that way because it's low barrier to entry, it's easy to do, and literally you can make like couple $100 today. Like,
yeah, no, you make there's window cleaners that are driving some really, really nice cars out there. The guys the ones that people want to make fun of, the guys that are just, just them and a bucket and a by themselves and killing it, making big money because they don't have pride. Let me rephrase that. They don't have an issue with pride. They're able to be that quote unquote window licker and make more money hourly than a doctor,
Right, exactly. Even though they're just a window cleaner, which obviously we know better than that now. But so I met you last year, and literally I see this guy on the stage. I mean, I see you.
Yeah,
and
good looking dude,
dressed nice.
So I've been told.
I mean, the question that I've asked myself is, would I?
Let me tell you, you would if you could, but I'm taking.
Okay. Well, it was as I was sitting there thinking, would I? No, but literally, like,
peg leg.
Yeah. Okay. So, great
some
dude,
people will get it,
but literally, from the outside perspective, I'm like, here's a guy on top of the world, mastering his business, part of this huge convention, mentoring others, teaching others, and you're like a celebrity. I mean, people are like, what's up, Bobby? What's up, Bobby Walker? I'm like, man, like, how do I be like Bobby Walker when I grow up?
Yeah.
Literally. And you know this. Like, you might want to deny it. You might not want to hear compliments. I don't like hearing compliments, but it's pretty impressive. You got this present.
Thank you.
It's pretty awesome. So then fast forward a little bit of time, and I'm like, man, I thought I joined this thing. I joined a mastermind that Bobby's in because I want to be around people that I want to be like when I grow up. Bobby's in there. Well, where's Bobby?
Yeah.
Then we connected, and we actually started working together.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, where's Bobby?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Bobby? And at the time, I just thought, honestly, like, you were just kind of like, I've got a handful of clients that just don't show up. They don't really put much effort into it. I think they expected like a get-rich-quick scheme type thing or something. I'm not sure. And I just was like, oh, he's probably doing that.
Yeah.
And so, but I reached out. I would reach out like, hey, is there everything okay? Anything I can do? Whatever. And for whatever reason, you decided to open up to me.
I'm a pretty open dude. I'm a pretty open dude.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool, actually, because that's what I want to talk about is what you opened it up to me about, and then what we were talking about the other day. And I think what every business owner has gone through, is going to go through. It's called mental health, but that term makes it sound like you're mental, like there's something wrong with you, and you're the only one, and everyone else, like, I'm normal. I don't have mental health. Bobby, he has mental health issues, but not me, because I don't have mental health, because no one ever told me I have mental health. So what happened?
At the end of the day, I had kind of dealt with depression, on and off my whole life.
Did you know that?
But I was self-aware of it, and this was the story, and I've heard this from a lot of other people too, and now I hear it loud and clear when I see other people talk about this, because I'm like, yep, I know exactly what's going on. But, I would say, I deal with depression. It ain't that bad. I'm okay. It comes in waves, and, I don't need to go see someone. There's other people that are way worse than me, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And, that's really stupid because, let me rephrase it. That's really foolish. It's not wise at all, because no one would ever say, man, yeah, my femur's broken, but that dude over there, his femur's broken in 2 spots. So I don't need to go get my leg patched up. I'm okay, right? It's silly. But the reason people do this with mental health is to what you just said. There's a stigma. If you break your leg, you get a cast. If your brain is hurt and broken, you get outcast, because everyone's like, what's wrong with this dude? And that's one of the reasons I just love talking about this, especially now that I'm on the other side of it. Because maybe if some other people would have been a little more passionate about it, a little more vocal about it, and said, hey, fuck you, I'm sick just like you're sick, and I'm just getting... Oh, I'm sorry.
That's one.
Okay, that's one. He told me I got one F-bomb at the beginning. I'm sorry. Sorry, kids. But, just say, hey, man, suck it, bro. If I have the flu, you wouldn't be saying there's a problem with it. So I wish I would have had someone else that would have given me a little courage when I lacked it back then. So now that I'm on this side of it, I have a lot of empathy that I didn't have before for a lot of stuff that I didn't see before. And one of them is these mental health issues.
Yeah.
So I want to be vocal and say, listen, you got a problem, you need to reach out for help. You know, you need to get a not a friend, not your wife, not your husband, not your pastor. You need to get a professional that's trained on how brains work and trained on how people work, and that professional can help you. Here's what the professional does. They really don't do shit for you. They give you a roadmap, but you got to be the one that can humble yourself. You got to be the one that's willing to walk down that path and do it. But those professionals can give you the roadmap and help give you the perspective, the context of what's going on. Because what happens is we tend to treat our symptoms, and that's what I was doing. You're bummed out. Well, how, quote unquote, bummed out. Well, how do you fix it? Oh, you watch a Jocko Willink video. You get pumped up. You watch that dude say, good, I'm glad things happen. And then I'm all fired up, or I listen to the Contender theme song, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm this. And about 20, 30 minutes. And then next thing you know, you're back down. What was happening? I was treating a symptom. My symptom was I don't have any drive left. My drive's going away. Well, the problem was, for me, my self-worth wasn't there. My self-value was gone. I was always looking for validation on the outside. And I was always, I got a personality, I'm an extrovert. So I was able to get my attention, get those dopamine kicks when I needed them, but they never lasted. And finally, and once I got to my 40s, I kind of collapsed under it. I just couldn't handle it anymore,
Well, it's cool to hear you talk about it. And as we were talking back and forth, really over the past, 6-7 months, what became clear to me was, like, as you shared your experience of, like, man, I was just feeling like this, and this was what happened. I'm like, wait a minute. What say that again? It was like, I just did that. Like, that was me yesterday. Maybe it wasn't the whole day. And I used to classify depression as, like, you never get out of bed for 14 days in a row, whatever. Like, sure, that's a form of it, but there's also forms of depression that can hit us on a daily basis. And that's why I was saying, like, I was relating to you, not at maybe the same level, but I was like, wait a minute, I felt those same things. Wait a minute, I don't know that I don't feel self-worth all the time. And we talked about this, like, I could go land like 5 clients today, and I feel like that should solve it. Yeah. Like, because I'm trying to solve the symptom thing. Yep. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that feels so good. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, man, I just wish my program was better. And I just, I'm not going to sell anymore because it's just like, it's not that good. And my wife's like, you just had people email you, say they just changed their lives. And everything else. I'm like, yeah, but it's just not that good. And
I'm with you. I've had those same experiences. I've literally had people say, dude, I was suicidal and your stuff helped me, or Bobby, you changed my life. I was stuck and I started a business because I stumbled across your video, just like I stumbled across that Keith Kalfusman. And it feels good for a moment. Well, here was my issue. There's times that would feel good, but oftentimes, and you actually caught me when we started this video, and that's why I shut up and said thank you. It's hard to accept a compliment when you don't have a lot of self-value. When you don't have a lot of self-worth. So think of that. Here's some food for thought. If you're one of those people, like I used to be, that can't accept a compliment, why is that? Are you not worthy of being given props for something you did? Right? So
I'm about to find out. I'm signing up for the calling it the therapy app. I
love it. Yeah, BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com. Yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, so it's like you sit there and you're like, okay, I can't accept those compliments from my people that watch my channel or my videos because, well, they don't know the whole me. They don't know that I yelled at my kids and cussed at one of them yesterday.
What if they find out the real truth? Because they think I'm awesome, but I'm not. I just got on the phone with my wife when we were fighting. It's like, if they do that, oh man, they're not going to like me as much.
So to wrap that little part up real fast, here was the fix for me. We're talking about the symptoms, right? The symptoms are you're not happy. You're only happy when you land the sale. You're only happy when the guy says, hey, you helped me. You're only happy when the wife, whatever, right? But happiness is situational, circumstantial, it's conditional, fulfillment is a different thing. And this is what I had to learn through this process because, bro, I was in a dark hole and I wasn't going to like go on being depressed. I was either going to figure this out and fix it, or I wasn't going to be around anymore. It was let me just not, mince words. I was either going to get out of this or I was going to take my own life, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to kill myself. I just didn't want to hurt anymore. Like it's hopeless. It's helpless. It's dark. And, but what I learned is that the way you what you've got to do first off is become completely selfish, which everyone that hears that probably gets a little like, ugh, you don't want to do that. And I was the same.
Hold on. Be completely selfish.
Yeah, but you
heard it live.
But you do, because you've got to be that most important thing. Now, listen, I'm a family man. I'll be my 25th anniversary is November 1st this year. I've got 3 kids that are amazing. You know, I love my friends. Being selfish, if I'm completely selfish, that doesn't mean that stuff doesn't happen. It just means that if I'm selfish, that means I'm taking care of me. That means that if I need downtime, I'm going to take my downtime. That means if I need mental health, I'm going to take my time to get my mental health, you know, physical, whatever it is. And then what that does is once I'm selfish, I can focus on my self-worth, my emotional strength, my mental strength, my confidence, and, you know, influence skills. And those are the things that like make up a human being, right? And then once that's solid, man, guys, let me tell you, you know, not 100%, but I'm calling my shot because I'm going to be there pretty damn soon. But I used to be one of the most sensitive, you know, just little bitchy, you know, get their feelings hurt dudes that you've ever met. And I'm 6'4", 265 pounds. You know, I look like a wimpy, non-muscular version of Stone Cold Steve Austin, for those that are just listening. And I would get my panties in a wad if anyone looked at me sideways, because I didn't have that value, right? So anyway, you focus on those things, your emotional, your mental, your confidence, and then the ability to influence people, you know, just great communication skills. Well, now you're bulletproof. Your business crash, you know, recession comes and everything goes to shit. Well, you're going to be fine because you're in control of your emotions. Yeah. You're going to be fine because you did it before. You have the knowledge to reinvent yourself. You're going to be fine because you're the most stinking confident person that you know. And you're going to be fine because you don't just know how to speak the English language, but you know how to influence people. So you can do those 4 things, bro. I'm bulletproof. Take my legs out. Take whatever out. I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to take care of it, and it feels good. So that's why I'm the Phoenix, baby.
Yes,
rising from the ashes.
Right here. Insert graphics.
Yeah,
but I love it, and I realize as I've had these conversations with you and stuff like that I'm totally guilty of chasing short-term happiness instead of that long-term fulfillment, as you call it. And I just know that if you're watching, if you're listening, you are too. Like, I'm not trying to call you out, but I am. It's like it happens, especially to entrepreneurs, because we're trying to build our business, and we're chasing that happiness with the wrong things, chasing those. And so I think it's like,
and happiness isn't bad. I mean, I want happiness too. You know, I want the Lamborghini. You know, whatever, right?
I want a Lambo. Why not a McLaren?
Whatever, you know. Okay. I want the private island. I want the, you know, whatever. That's all fun stuff. But those things are just like, you know, those are bonuses. Those are cherries on the top. Yeah. What I had to have, what I absolutely had to have was to be fulfilled when I wake up. Nothing significant minus a few bullshit things happen that day, and I go home and my wife's stressed, so she can't like hug me or make me feel good, and I'm like, you know, it wasn't a real fun day, but just like Bon Jovi, man, I just want to live while I'm alive, and I did it, and that's cool, man. Like, tomorrow I can look back at today and say, but I'm a freaking champion. I'm an overachiever because yesterday was shit, and I'm here, and that's cool. You know, that feels so good. Cool.
That's awesome that you literally, to see like the Bobby to Bobby to Bobby is like amazing.
Oh no, I was a shell of who I was. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I know exactly. They may not know what you mean, but I know what you mean because I was a shell of who I was.
Totally, like rediscovered yourself, or maybe even just discovered yourself the first time.
That's probably more accurate. Yeah.
But let's talk about how you did it, because for me, I'm a coach, and so I feel like, well, I got to be more perfect than just a normal person, because I have people like looking at me and relying on me and stuff like that. And so I try to, like, you know, I try to work on myself. I try to be self-aware and stuff like that. I read pretty good books about this stuff. But one thing that I've totally forgotten about is kind of accountability. And like you said, getting started, like, not your friend, not your wife. Like, I confide in my wife, like, but I need somebody else.
Well, she doesn't have the skill set that exactly. When I say you, I'm saying like you literally, but your wife or your husband or whoever doesn't have the skill set to take care of this specific thing.
Yeah. You know? And here's why I'm interested in it, because I don't know what level you are at, and maybe there was someone that had a broken leg more broken than yours, whatever.
Right.
There are different levels. I don't know what they are. They're not established, but I don't feel like I'm at that state. But I feel like I deal with these issues. And so I downloaded the app. I couldn't figure out the credit card thing, but I have till Monday.
You have till Monday, yeah. Guys, good. Listen, he's got till Monday to be signed up for the app and got his first session scheduled. So Monday, if you got his contact info, whatever the heck day Monday is coming up here, Monday the something.
Yep.
Call this bitch. Make sure that he did it.
I'm good. I'm good with that. So anyway, I'm doing it because it's so important for me to meet with someone on a regular basis to stay tuned up, change the oil, keep the fluids going. Like that's
preventative
what I need.
Maintenance.
Yep.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more.
And I think it's cool to see you talk, and you're like, you've discovered yourself. You're saying the right things. You're putting yourself in the right positions so that there is not a bad day. There's going to be a bad day, but
no, there's a lot of bad days.
But it's how you view it, your perspective.
Yeah, I think probably the best way I could, let me try to, because I'm a rookie at this stuff, man. I'm still, I think actually it sounds so cliche, so I hate to say this, but maybe I hate to say it because I heard it my whole life and I never did anything with it. And, and now it like registers for me, but literally, happiness or whatever you want to call it, that's an external thing that you get from other sources. Fulfillment is that thing that literally just comes from within. Fulfillment is I can be happy if I don't achieve the goals. I can be happy or not happy, fulfilled, but I'm fulfilled regardless of the surroundings. I might not be happy today.
Yeah.
I've been stressed out of my mind for the last 2 weeks. I'm having tension headaches. I'm walking around this event with a massage gun in my backpack. I'm not the most happy guy I am right now.
It'd be better to be on a beach somewhere.
But the fulfillment
is happiness
there.
Level.
I love myself. I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud of the fact that I am dragging this week and I'm out here and I'm shaking babies and kissing hands and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I love is like even a bad day in terms of like happiness. Like obviously you'd rather do other things maybe to increase it, but you are fulfilled and I can sense it, I can feel it, I can hear it. And it's cool to see you walking around and shaking hands and high-fiving people and people coming up to you and stuff like that. I'm super proud of you, brother.
It's fun to be back. This is this event, because like Ryan said, it was last year. Get this, bro. It was the drive home, because I drove to the convention last year. I'm in Orlando, Florida. I drove up to Atlanta where it was. My drive home, I started crashing. Like that, I remember.
Really?
My wife was with me, and I remember telling her. I remember just saying, listen, I've got a wave coming, because I knew I'd been dealing with this stuff. And it wasn't too long after the event when you saw me fall off the face of the planet. It was rough, I don't remember why I brought that up now.
I don't know, just because it's the anniversary and you're back.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was telling you. Yeah. So
Phoenix?
I don't know. Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, just stay out of school. No, wait, stay in school.
Short-term memory is important.
Don't do drugs. The message of the day is don't do drugs and be selfish.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know. I don't think you were in there, but here's a fun dude to listen to for audience and you as well. Have you read Average Sucks? The dude had a booth over here. He's got some books here. I actually spoke at our mastermind that you showed us last time, bro. But Michael Burnoff. All right. He actually just finished knocking it out of the park in there. Okay. But he's got a great book called Average Sucks. And he even talks about it in there, kind of about being selfish and taking care of the important stuff. And it's that concept is really grabbing that concept, at least, finally letting it penetrate and resonate, it's been transformational.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, the old analogy is like when you're getting on the airplane and they're like, put your oxygen mask on first. And that's true. It's so true. We have to take care of ourselves. We think, like when I was running my landscape lighting business, that was the hardest time of my life because of that. I wasn't putting myself first. And I thought I was doing it for my family and all this other stuff, but I really abandoned them at the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I got to put myself first so that I can take care of them. Otherwise, if you're not around, then who's going to take care of them? We should be providers.
Yeah.
And we do that by serving ourselves first.
Well, here's the thing you got to remember. we have core values, right? Like your company has core values, right? Like one of ours is integrity, right? The obvious one. We got like positive team players. So like if you're not a positive team player, if you're a team player but you're grouch about it, you just don't work here anymore, right? You know, if we value dependability. So if you're not dependable, you don't work here anymore, right? Well, in our life, we have core values as individuals, right? So I can guarantee you, I can name 2 of yours. One of them is whatever your wife's name is. That's one of your core values. One of them is the name of your children. That's one of your core values. So if you're selfish, your core values are going to be met. But the values aren't like what you're being selfish for, right? But that's who you're made up of. What you are performs better. You know, it produces better results for your core values when you're selfish, and it produces worse ones for your core values when you're not. You know, it's just so we got to fall in love with me. Oh, well, you all should love me.
Everybody
you got to fall in love with you.
Should we print out posters or something like that?
Something like that. I don't know. Yeah. I was thinking about a cool shirt. Like I had a shirt idea I thought was really, really funny. Or not funny. I thought it was like really great because I was like starting to do this self-love thing, you know? And I was like, I'm going to get a shirt that says
the couch.
The best love is self-love. And then I'm like, you know,
that might go
I don't
wrong.
know what that's. And I live in Orlando, so I go to Disney World a lot and stuff. I'm like, that's probably not the best shirt to be wearing around Disney World. So I'm going to come up with a different slogan.
Yeah, I think it would be okay if it's just the word, but let's not do a graphic.
No graphics.
Not the best graphic in the world.
That's funny as hell.
So, all right, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you going through that. Appreciate you being vulnerable. If we don't have vulnerable people like you, we don't really ever talk about it.
Yep.
And then we feel worse about ourselves because we feel like we're the only ones feeling like shit. And it's like, it's awesome to talk about. So thanks for holding me accountable. Thanks for making me do it. I think it's going to be good. Like when I was running my business, my wife and I mean, I'm not kidding when I say it was hard. Like we basically had the conversation, or she had the conversation with me.
Yeah.
It was like, well, like I can leave or we can go to therapy. And I'm like I don't like going to the doctor. I'm the guy that would be like, it's broken. I don't care. I don't want to go to the doctor.
Because you're not worth it. Because Ryan isn't worth being taken care of, according to Ryan. So I get it. That's cool.
So I didn't want to, but when I'm presented with those choices, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go. But like kicking and screaming and crying like a baby or a bitch, as you call them, which we don't forget, we got to promote your thing.
I won't. I swear.
It was awesome. It was like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
For both of us. You know, we would each like meet with our therapist individually and then meet together and stuff like that. And it totally saved our marriage, saved our lives, everything else. So I'm already like a fan of it. And then I stopped doing it.
Yep.
So like
we do that. We get complacent, you know, and I think that's that old, you know, you ain't growing, shrinking. I don't think it means like you're shrinking, you ain't growing. It's just we tend to revert to old things if we're not constant. I saw a great video, but it's like, you know, you got your comfort zone in the middle, like a target, right? And then you got your growth zone. Then there's the danger zone. Like I said, you can go a little too crazy, right?
Yeah.
But when you get in that comfort zone, that comfort zone starts to shrink.
Yeah.
You know, because, it's atrophy. Yeah.
So anyway, so I just appreciate our friendship first. I appreciate you coming on here, being vulnerable, all that. Let's talk about some stuff that you do. I know is the podcast you do, is it active now, or is it coming out of the? Well,
it's still, I mean, it's all still there. So I had to take a break. So last I don't know, October, November, that's when I really kind of, you know, hit the floor. So I had to hide from, I didn't have to, but I hid from life and haven't put any new content up. But I've got a podcast and a YouTube channel. It's the same name. It's called Journey of a New Entrepreneur. It's the home of the No Bitch Zone. Now I want to define what a bitch is real quick, okay? Ladies, hear me out for a second. It's not what you think, okay? I'm changing the word. I'm redefining the word. So a bitch is someone that doesn't pursue their hopes, goals, and dreams because of what other people may say, think, or do, or because of their own internal fears. And it's also, now listen, someone that's dealing with mental health is not a bitch.
Okay.
But someone that won't go get help for the mental health is a bitch.
Nice.
So Journey of a New Entrepreneur. It's the home of the No Bitch Zone. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on wherever you find podcasts, you know, and iTunes and all that good stuff. And there's a lot of shit on there. There's a lot of bad stuff. I'm gonna like have to go back and like correct, you know, just from a new perspective. But check it out, and I'll say one more thing. If you've been listening to this and the mental health thing has resonated with you, I've got a pretty raw, like, it's so raw and real that like literally there's times at night when I'm about to go to sleep, I'll have a little bit of anxiety. I'm like, man, I kind of want to make that video private, but I leave it up because a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, Bobby, I got into therapy because of this. Bobby, my wife got into therapy because of this, cool. Whatever. So go to the YouTube channel. I've posted 2 videos this year. The first one was just letting my channel know why I wasn't around, and and that's the one I'm talking about. And it's called A Journey Through Deep Depression. And then the other one is just a little business update, you know, that I did, you know, a month or so later. But I'm about to get active with all that stuff again. But if the mental health stuff resonated with you, go to that channel, watch the second to last video on there, and you know, maybe that can give you some perspective. Maybe it can give you a little bit of courage. If you don't have it, maybe you can borrow mine right now, you know, and take that step to get the help that you need. Because the bottom line is, you are worth it. You do deserve it. And whenever I say those words, and if you say to yourself, man, I don't know if I am, or I don't know if I do, that's a lie from the pit of hell. And if you don't believe in God or anything like that, that's a lie from the pit of somewhere else. And and you do. So check it out. Get yourself some help. You deserve it. And then when you do, you know, reach out to me, reach out to Ryan, and reach out to someone that you know cares about you. And if I don't know you, I'm going to tell you I care about you because I possess empathy, and say, hey, man, I took that step. And that way you can get a little love back. It doesn't have to be public, but, you know, share your victory with someone else that you took that step and got some help.
I would love that. In fact, that's almost a challenge. You know, if you are struggling, or if you've struggled and you've felt that, like, let's hear your feedback, whether it's comments here, or if you don't want it public, shoot me an email, support@RyanLeeCoaching.com. Shoot me a friend request on Facebook, message me, whatever. I can get you in touch with Bobby. I don't know, like, I was going to ask for your cell number right now.
Yeah, 555. No, listen, you can reach me. What's the best email? littlebob68@gmail.com. So littlebob, the number 6, the number 8 @gmail.com.
No wonder he had to go to therapy. Okay, so reach out to one of us. And happy to just give you that hand of support. I mean, sometimes that's what it needs, and just to feel it's okay to feel like crap sometimes. So
it's just not okay to stay there.
Yeah. Well, you defined it pretty well. You're not a bitch if you feel depressed. You're just a bitch if you don't do anything about it.
That's right.
So that's awesome, man. All right. Well,
Brian, love you, bro. Thank you for letting me come on here, man.
Appreciate you.
Hopefully you got to come to my podcast once I get this thing relaunched.
Am I invited?
I'm praying about it, but you know, here in about 30 days, I'm going to get that thing kicked back up, and we're gonna change the world. We're gonna impact lives. We're gonna help people make money. We're gonna have a lot of fun while we do it. It's gonna be some good shit.
I love it. I
see some collaborations in the future,
dude. I would love to. Anytime you're like, oh, I had a last minute cancellation or whatever, I'll be the fill-in guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll start at the bottom rung. I'm cool.
Works for me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Listen, I really appreciate you putting up with us. Again, if you have a win or a loss you want to share, support@RyanLeeCoaching.com. I can get you in touch with Bobby, or if you remember that crazy email, I can't.
Yeah. Fat Bobby. I'm sorry, littlebob68 @gmail.
All right, that sounds good. All right, guys. Live from the Huge here in Nashville. We're going to wrap it up, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Tuesday, 5 o'clock Eastern is the normal time. So appreciate you guys, and have a good week.
That's good, man.